Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cringe Talk. I'm Matt.
And I'm David.
And tonight we're going to be discussing Get Out.
Get Out!
It's been a couple weeks. We haven't talked about it.
That's true.
A bit of a dry spell for horror movies.
The Walking Dead taking your time.
Yeah, and we missed out on the... Which film did we miss out on?
Oh, Cure for the Wellness?
Cure for Wellness.
Cure for Wellness, I meant to say, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't stay in theaters very long. Did
No, and we feel like that's a good reason. So maybe it's not worth talking about if it didn't last this long.
Yeah. Get Out probably will be in theaters for quite a while. I've heard a lot of people say it was one of the best films they've seen, best horror films they've seen in a long time.
Some Oscar buzz, too.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because horror usually gets overlooked.
That's
for
true.
Sure.
But is it because I wonder if it's because of the racial thing. I don't want to get too political on this.
Oh,
but
you wonder if it's because of the racial thing?
I wonder.
Of course it's because of the racial thing.
Probably is. It's I think like the lack of nominees of black actors this year. They figure, you know what? Let's bring a whole film into this.
Yeah. Yeah. So you liked the movie, I imagine.
I very much did.
I liked it too. I felt uncomfortable watching it.
You should have.
And being so white. But mainly at the point where, because a lot of people were cheering in this movie when the white people started to die. Spoilers: white people are dying.
Yeah.
When the white people started to die, everyone starts cheering, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Were they all black in the theater?
A good amount, and it's like we're not going to get through this review without talking about black people and white people.
That's true.
It's that's what this film aims to do, I guess. Just get everyone on talking about it, feeling a little more relaxed about it, a little more comfortable about race.
I feel like it's very educational.
Oh,
like what you shouldn't say when if you haven't been around black people as often, this is the things you shouldn't do or say.
And just because you haven't been around black people doesn't mean you're a racist.
No.
I grew up in a town where there was one black family.
Oh man, okay.
And when you saw them around, you made note of it, a mental note. It's like
you counted.
No, but it's just it's not that you're a racist. It's just I don't know, man.
No, it's true. Yeah,
I'm going to say a lot of things that I regret tonight. I'm sure, but nothing.
I, on the other hand, have had black neighbors all my life. Yeah. I know what to say next to them.
Yeah, you know their plight.
I know. No,
we should have had somebody. We should have had a black friend to come on.
Daniel was supposed to come, but she couldn't join me upon watching the film. So
she's only half black. It wouldn't work.
Well, Jordan Peele is only half black.
That's true.
Totally works.
The whole movie really felt like a Key and Peele sketch.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how their sketches are. They take something that is believable, like a believable situation, and put a really ridiculous twist on it.
Yeah.
But then act on that twist as though it is 100% believable. Right. Where like nobody's smirking, a lot of their skits are, you laugh at them because they're so serious.
Yeah. But then you exaggerate the crap out of it.
And it is just super exaggerated.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how a lot of this film felt. Like, I was laughing at parts because I could just picture them writing it and be like, "Oh, this is so ridiculous. We're gonna add this scene. We're gonna add this scene, and it's gonna play out. We're gonna play it out super serious."
I don't know if Kay was involved in this at all. Actually,
he was not. Well, he wasn't billed as anything. He did have a.
Did he have a cameo? I didn't notice.
Cameo.
He did.
His photo was one of the NCAA players at the end.
I see.
That was it.
I find it strange because
they do everything as a team.
Yeah, I feel like he'd be. I guess they didn't want to make it. I guess they didn't want it to expect that. I guess.
But if I was Key, well, Key and Peele.
Is it Key? Oh, I thought it was K. Oh yeah, what am I saying? Yeah, it is Key.
I forget his first name.
I think Lock and Key and K.
Yeah, I would feel kind of, sad that I wasn't involved in any of this, especially because it took off.
We don't know how much he was involved or not. We don't know. He could be getting a piece of it for all we know. But hey, how about this? Blumhouse is dominating the horror field like crazy.
Yeah,
I think every single good horror film comes from Blumhouse. It's kind of a shame because you like to see.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Lately, yeah.
Lately, sure. Yeah. Well, in terms of like, blockbuster, in terms of like, Hollywood films, yeah, like non-independent, because obviously the independent horror films are a different genre, which we like to explore once in a while as well. But it's so Blumhouse is killing it.
They're doing pretty good. Like what's coming out.
It's dominance though. Like it's everything. And I mean, like even if Annabelle 2 is going to come out and we know that's going to be crappy, it's still people are going to go watch it because there's a certain quality that they bring to it.
Yeah, it's just like I don't like. It's like maybe Annabelle 2 won't be terrible, but I don't like the premise. I don't like
a doll.
I do like Chucky, but in Annabelle, I don't even think I watched the whole thing. But I know that she never really moves. Right? There's the thought of possession within the doll.
Yeah,
but the doll itself is just a.
I don't know how much this is based is actually true or whatever it is or what they decide to go upon to make a narrative out of it, but whatever.
I'm not loving it. No. But Get Out. That's what we're here to talk about.
Or Go! No, I'm kidding. I was watching Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and the first line he says is Go! Imagine if that would have been the first line.
Completely unrelated and just trying to derail us again.
Yeah, always.
So Chris Washington is the character name of the black boyfriend. That's true. Very white name.
He has to be black.
Very white name, Christopher Washington. So
you had to know that he was black.
We'd see it. Let's run through just really quickly. I want to run through the plot as I understood it. This girl, Rose, is sent out to gather up as many black boyfriends as she can, bring them back home, and her family then.
Not only men, actually, we find out at the end.
Yeah. Primarily men, but, a couple women. Brings them back home so that other people can inhabit their bodies. And that's the story. Their father has... her grandfather, I guess, had perfected this.
Right.
Figured out how to...
anomaly. It wasn't
some anomaly. I don't know.
Oh, I forgot. I remembered right after, and then now I don't know. Upon doing this, we should have just we should have just taken it. We're just going freehand. Kind of fun too. I forgot what the term is. But it involved the butterfly.
Yeah. So a metamorphosis of some sort.
Yes.
So Chris Washington gets taken down to this place. He's a little nervous because it's all white folk and everyone in town is white. And things just get weirder and weirder, and eventually he falls victim to the same thing that all the other black people have fallen victim to in this town. It's kind of weird that this is a story about, white people and black people and
the racial prejudices,
tension involved, but we find out they don't need to be black for this to work.
No, they didn't. So doesn't that become like the biggest racial compliment? Because if they're recruiting black men and women, is that like some sort of genetic, compliment in a way?
I guess so. I mean, we do hear people talk about it, like the weird brother, the Armitage. What's his name? Caleb?
Oh, you're talking about from the security at the airport?
No. Caleb, like the younger brother. Of Rose is like the one who's at the table.
Oh, right, when he's talking about UFC. Yeah,
he's talking about like their genetic structure and like how perfect their bodies are, and it's like
fight basically
to fight and all this. And there's some
that is kind of racist though when you think about it.
Well, that's what he's talking about. So is that what everybody's talking about? They just because one of them, I think Stephen Root's character, he was talking about how some people just want to live in a different skin, try that out, but. He doesn't really care. He could be black, white, Chinese. He just wants to see.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like there's surgeries for that. I mean, you don't need to put your mind in
not legal
else.
in the States actually.
Well, okay. Well, this is not legal
at all. Right. So argumentative sake that what I was going to say that doesn't work either. But
I feel like if there's a scale of what's legal, this would be more. Just getting a eye surgery is more legal than taking somebody's body and keeping them in. Suspended state of, I guess, putting them in limbo.
Yeah, are they technically like if on the outside of it, if they don't know about the procedure, they're just kidnapping them? But if they would be investigated, they're not kidnapped. They basically decide to be away, but they were missing momentarily. Kind of covers that up in a way.
It does cover it up.
It does cover it up if someone on the outside were to investigate.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, well, there's a lot of black men going missing. Yeah. Why isn't anybody? But no, if they turn up. and then just change their lifestyle completely. It's more like a cult.
Yeah, but it's not just one way they do it. I feel like it's because it's not just what's her face. Her name is Rose, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not just one way. And I think like remember at the beginning we see somebody get abducted.
That I was a little confused on who that was. Was that the person who
It was the brother
went missing?
It's the brother. Well, yeah. It was the person that was
Originally?
missing who ends up who reacts to that phone scene, which is an amazing scene. But it's the way he was abducted was by the brother because he had that night mask.
Yeah.
And he took him down, put him in that car, and they got away with it. They don't always abduct in the same way, so it's not always. I feel like from what I remember, Rose isn't the only one who's just taking them. It's also the brother just abducting them as well. She may be luring some of them.
Oh, but from what I saw, I thought that was a similar situation to what was happening with Chris.
Right.
Only, when Chris started seeing everything was acting up and things are weird in this town.
Yeah.
That's the same story that happened to this guy, only this guy got out.
Oh, because
he was walking,
weird.
he was talking on his phone. He's like, yeah, man, people are crazy out here in this town. I'm the only
Oh,
black
yeah,
guy.
you're right. Yeah, it's true.
I got to I'm on my way home.
Okay.
And then he stops at this car. So I think he was just someone who Rose had originally and he escaped.
Oh, maybe, yeah. That could be it, too. Yeah, it's true. Well, maybe likely, too. I was just saying that...
Because remember how they had a friend and it was like, oh, yeah, he went missing. And we saw him at this party.
Because you don't feel like... Because the reason I don't think it's just because Rose is directly at it, or like the Rose is partly responsible for getting him where he had to go, where he was leaving from, is because if people talk...
Yeah.
And, he went out with Rose or, befriended her or whatever it is, wouldn't people talk and know and get around? She has to be careful for the fact that she makes these choices because they could get around back there. So I feel like the abduction is not always the same way. So
yeah, it seems like they have an operation going, but there's some wiggle room to how they get them into their home.
Right, that's right. Yeah. So that was interesting. It was a good paranoia take on it. And back on that scene where how like he reacts to the flash of the phone, like the camera phone.
Yeah.
But just because, don't you just love that part where everything went silent? Like everything went so like the flash happens and no sound, no movie sound. Almost as if the speakers went out completely in the theater, and just no sound, and all you hear is just Chris going, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
And you're like, it was genius. I mean, like that use of sound and lack of it, like that was. It was so tense.
It was really good, and then like the theater was silent too.
Yeah, you're like, okay, and yeah. Though one thing I want to call him out on, there was like two cheap scares I find.
Okay,
the one was where like you remember that we find out later on that was the one of the groundskeepers who ends up being who actually is the grandfather.
Yeah,
when he's just running at him when he's out for his first cigarette.
Yeah,
and then he just turns.
I think that just added to how weird everything was. Like, what's going on?
But why that? I feel like that was because I feel like that was just written for him to be scared.
Yeah, because if he's just another dude inside of someone else's body and he's not, there's not something else going on, then it's still a weird thing for someone to do.
Yeah, just to be running and all of a sudden take a sharp turn, right?
Yeah, and not explain yourself as you're doing it. And to even be running at night is kind of strange. Like, why would the grandfather realistically be running a marathon at night?
While he's out taking a cigarette,
yeah. Why is I can understand why the grandmother was looking at her reflection, but you'd think she would be over it by now.
Some things I feel like I think it would show like the imperfections of the procedure sometimes.
Yeah, I mean it was neat because your soul, I guess, is still there.
Yeah,
but you just can't do anything other than
watch, right?
Watch and affect the muscles in the face a little bit because you could see
they're
at
tearing
one point
up.
like they're tearing up, they're like struggling to smile or frown. So yeah, the procedure is not perfect.
Yeah, it's not, and it is interesting because the way they showed how you sink into the hole, you sink to the ground as she hypnotizes him. It's like she can ask you to close your eyes, and that's what you're going to feel like. You're going to be in this void.
Yeah,
and that really, and we see at the end when we find out, when the grandfather's no longer the grandfather, it's that guy that was kidnapped. He ends up killing himself because, as much as it's weird that you're in this hole this whole time, and all of a sudden you have the urge to kill the person that held you captive, and then you're just like, my God, you just want to die after. Which is
it's
interesting.
The Flash, I guess, lets you take control of the body just for a little bit.
Oh, I guess, and then that's why. Yeah, okay.
That's why he was like, well, before I'm just sunken in and waiting, like just having no control. I may as well kill this person. We'll both die. 'Cause it's better than just being a prisoner in my own body.